Brett and I thought we'd do a little video on the new Alchemy. We decided to fly an electric version Alchemy this year, just for convenience. Both of us have so much going on right now with our lives, but we're pretty pleased with it. The airplane came out at, I think, 4,900 grams with 6,000 flight packs. And we're running a, what motor and speed controller we're running this thing? Plenty Advance.
Yeah, Plenty Advance 3010 and a Jetty Spin 99.
The Spin 99 speed controller, which has been absolutely foolproof and bulletproof for us. Kind of switching over from glow. And pull the cowling off, the canopy off, Brett. Let's look inside of this thing. Pretty easy installation. We have no issues with cooling whatsoever.
No.
Pretty conventional setup. Rudder servo in the front. This kit gives you the ability to put the rudder servo in the rear, like we have here on the Bipe. There's control horns that come on these with the kit itself that you can run either the servo in the rear with a push rod or the pull. You have different preferences. People like both ways. The flexibility of the CG on this airplane means you can run 6,000 packs, 5,000 packs, pull, a rear servo, and you're not having to cram the batteries up in the nose, which is good because the way the electrics are going now, there's so many different motors and speed controller combinations, battery combinations, that it's hard to keep up with the weight issues and the distribution of weight on these airplanes to please every modeler. But I think I've got it pretty much figured out where you can run anything you want to, including glow. So the Alchemy comes as a standard airframe that you can either run glow or electric of any flavor. The only difference is the cowling has quick disconnects for glow and the electrics don't, because it adds about an ounce to the airframe, which is not a lot, but it's enough not to include it with the electric version. We have new style gear on the Alchemy and some of the older Allures, where it's a one-piece composite strut that actually just plugs straight into the fuselage here. There's no bend on it, so we don't have the delamination problems we had with the other gear. They weigh 90 grams for the pair, which has saved us a lot of weight. And I can't really show you, but under the battery we have a new composite carbon box that the gear actually plug into. And there's more flexibility in the legs, so if you're flying off of rough surfaces, it really saves the airframe. What prop are we running on this thing, Brett?
It's a Falcon 2113.5.
Let's flip it over and take a look underneath of it. This is the standard color scheme that it comes in. It comes also with a yellow base. And this model sells right now for $3,000 plus shipping, which is about middle of the market for price. We didn't do anything special really for cooling. Only thing, it comes already with these holes from the factory already cut out. I added these vents right here just to be safe, because Brett flies in Florida, and down in the south down here we get some near 100-degree temps. I also added some cooling entries here. Mostly it only needed one on one side. I did that for the speed controller to make sure we had enough airflow for the speed controller. And then the speed controller sits here, so the air exits through here, so basically you have good flow through air. The wings come and the ailerons come pre-hinged, just done in a mold, so you don't have to do any of that work. The elevators are top hinge skin hinges, and it's really, there's no time at all involved in putting this airplane together. You basically, it's already put together at the factory. You basically bolt it together, put your servos in, bolt your motor on the front, and you're done. These control horns come with the kit. There's a full set that come with the kit. And you cut your slot, glue them in, and put your control horns, you know, whatever style you like. Because we run glow, we like to use the ball bearing stuff, but it's not necessary. The helicopter style ball joint bearings work great. These arms come in the kit, and it allows you to get the recommended throw that I recommend for snaps, which is 25 degrees. And you just basically screw them to a servo wheel after you get your centering right, and you're done. And I just wanted to put a little video out on this airplane because we really haven't done anything with it. And we have stock coming in, so if you're interested, get a hold of me. Come and see us at the Nationals. This airplane will be for sale at the Nationals, so if you're interested in a ready to go, all up Alchemy with a plet, holler at Brett, and we'd be glad to sell it to you. Here we have the Allure Bipe, and long-awaited release. It's been too long actually, but I'm still trying to sort out some manufacturing issues with it. This is the glow version, and it's really made the same way. Basically all the hinges are done. All the work's done at the factory on setup. You bolt the wings on, you bolt the stabs in, and put your gear in. This airplane also comes with a configuration of glow or electric, depending on what version you get. Kind of depends on a few of the features. On the glow versions, I have a carbon nose to help with rigidity issues, and the quick disconnects on the cowling, of course. But as it stands right now, the glow version will be released first, which I have some kits that are actually going to be shipped pretty soon to me. And the electric version, I'm still working on the details, but we're going to probably offer that in an all-white kit, painted at the factory, and you just put your colors on it and clear coat. Just because we have so much problems with consistency in painting, the airplane is very large, and just to get it out so the public can actually buy it, I'm just going to release it in white until we can figure out how to paint it, you know, consistently lighter. This one's set up with the rear style rudder, and this arm comes in the kit, and a push rod to the rudder, and it sells for $3,500. The all white version will sell for less. I just haven't come up with a price point for it. So anyway, here's a quick tour of our airplanes we have, our newest airplanes we have. We're going to release to the market, and I have some coming in on a shipment here pretty soon. Look us up at the Nationals, and I'll have actually a couple of kits with me to sell. So if you want an all ready to go Alchemy, ready to fly, contest proven, we have that for sale, and we have two in the box all white Alchemies just like this one here, also ready to sell. So I think that's about all we want to say. Anything you want to add, Brett? You want to talk about the flight characteristics of the electric versus glow?
Well, let's talk about the Alchemy itself.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed the airplane. It's surprised me in a lot of ways. I've been flying the biplanes for so long, the glow biplane specifically. But just biplanes in general have so much yaw authority, and predominant wisdom is that you need a biplane to do all the really hard knife edge maneuvers, and you know, an airplane like this just shouldn't be capable of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't present the maneuvers as well, and that's true. And for what I do, I still prefer the characteristics of the biplane. But this airplane has really surprised me in a very good way. The yaw authority is certainly not lacking.
Yeah.
We've just been flying some unknowns out here. throwing everything we can at it, knife edge figure eights and
The vertical 8, lay down 8s.
Yeah, just knife edge loops, knife edge everything.
Integrated
Half
rolling.
the maneuvers and the unknowns are knife edge maneuvers now.
Right.
So it's really handled it well, and what makes it so powerful is how pure and easy to control it is.
Yeah, that's it's what I really worked. Kind of the launching platform for that whole philosophy was my old Valiant, and I worked with that Valiant. The Allure came out of that, and then what I got out of the Allure, I put into the upgrades on the Alchemy. And the difference between the Alchemy and the Allure is the canopy is further forward, maybe 1 inch. It's a ½ inch taller at the canopy. The wings are smaller and they're thinner. It's got the exact same stabs that the last version of the Allure flew with. Another addition was the taller fin and rudder. So, to get power, you also have to have balance to keep the power usable. There's a lot of airplanes that are designed that have extreme rudder power, but it's a lot of it's unusable because you just can't. There's no balance with it. So I think we struck a pretty good balance with the Alchemy, improving on the Allure. And it's not the Bipe, of course, but not everybody can use a Bipe or even needs a Bipe. This is a good intermediate compromise, I guess you'd say, for somebody who really wants extreme rudder. And it's not, it really isn't holding us back in any kind of way. We have to approach the patterns a little differently because you're used to flying with glow and used to flying with a Bipe. But
sure, yeah.
man, it's been great.
No, I feel 100% confident that we'll be very competitive at the Nats.
Yeah.
No.
We're not giving anything up.
I'm not giving anything up. I don't think
Yeah.
this airplane is going to stop me from making the team or anything. So
Only you can do that.
only I can do that.
What's been the biggest challenge switching from glow to electric as far as presenting the airplane? I mean, I know we're going from a biplane to a monoplane, but what's been the biggest challenge as far as your presentation?
Constant speed.
Constant speed.
Yeah, undoubtedly constant speed. Electric motor just, this setup. I don't have a lot of experience with different setups, so I can really just comment on what I'm flying.
Yeah.
It's much harder to make the flight smooth and graceful. You end up, it's so easy to get uplines going too fast.
Yeah, it's got immense torque. I mean,
the motor just has immense torque, and there's a very small band in the throttle range where it's responsive. So to kind of wrangle it a little bit, I end up with a kind of a crazy throttle curve, and that's all been very different. With the YS, you just set up your throttle geometry correctly and a linear curve on the transmitter, and you kind of get a great response.
you get a broader band
throughout the entire power range. So that's been a challenge for me because I don't really have any experience with that, and to keep that speed constant and fly consistently is more difficult, I've found. But that instant torque comes in handy sometimes. If you're towards the end of a sort of energy-hungry maneuver and you need to punch into the wind, or you just need some instant power.
Yeah, there's no spool-up time. I noticed it in a couple of the vertical eights.
No spool-up time. No. There's no. I mean, the airplane just goes. It just does it. Whereas a YS, if you don't manage it correctly, might bog down a little bit. So, yeah. Pluses and minuses. I still prefer the YS. So I'll always be a
a glow head. Yeah. Yeah, me too.
head.
a hard head. It has been a whole lot easier with it. Not the initial.
Man.
The initial setup has been really kind of crazy for us because neither one of us knew what we was doing. I'm building an electric airplane to make the team, and you're trying to figure out how to solder batteries.
Oh, geez.
How long has it been since you flew electric?
2006
Yeah, it's been a long time. So many changes,
or 7. Yeah.
but you're doing good. I mean, the airplane looks really good in the air. I love to watch it fly. It's really nice. I want to talk one last thing we've done to the airplane, just as an upgrade. If you'll flip it over.
Yeah.
When I was designing and working a lot with the Valiant, trying to get more neutral rudder authority without getting crazy with add-ons, and I came up with this Strake. And I started really big with the Valiant and wound up whittling it down toward the end. And we decided to try it on the Alchemy because it had some of the similar characteristics where it's a really snap-happy airplane because it's got smaller and thinner wings. But we wanted to manage the snap exits a little better. So I added this Strake, and I'll let Brett kind of describe what he feels with and without it, because I know some people are going to ask why we're running it.
Yeah, it's a compromise, and in my case, I think it makes sense. It basically calms down the tail a little bit. It improves snap exits.
Yeah.
It makes the snaps a little more difficult, actually, but improves snap exits. It kind of does exactly what you might think a little bit of extra
Drag in the back.
area and drag in the back would do.
Yeah.
I liked it because to do all those unknown maneuvers with the the extreme knife edge stuff, you have to use a lot of rudder throw. So you basically end up having to, and I don't want to be flipping switches for every maneuver trying to get a different rudder rate.
Yeah.
So just because of the way I like to set up the transmitter and how I thought the feel was working out, I ended up having you have to use a lot of rudder throw to be able to do the knife edge stuff and even like rolling loops and stuff. But then you need the sort of precision around center to fine-tune a point roll for the opposite.
Yeah, finessing off-center rudder.
Yeah, just finessing, just that off-center rudder. So what that Strike does is it kind of calms the tail down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it makes it a little bit more manageable. Snap exits look great.
Yeah.
The snap itself is a little bit harder to get into, and it doesn't wind up as quick. But this airplane's so good at that anyway.
Yeah.
It's not really that big of an issue.
Yeah, we found the same thing when we was testing all that when we was flying the Valiant all those years ago. It really doesn't increase rudder authority. It kind of calms the authority you have, and it gives you some linearity off of neutral, and that's kind of what we was looking for. It really did good. It weighed like 10 grams, so it was an easy add-on, and it worked the first time. Was pretty happy about that. Anything else you'd like to say about it?
No, I mean I've just been really happy with it. I'm trying to get used to what straight level looks like with one wing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little different.
But
we did get one of these in with your color scheme on it. Unfortunately, I can't build it in a week, and I'm not even going to try. I'm too old for that now anymore. But anyway, we just want to do a little video on these two airplanes for the guys that are visiting the website and asking questions, and hopefully we've answered all your questions and maybe excited you a little bit to make a purchase. They're really, the quality of these airplanes are going up more and more. The raw kit comes in at about 2,300 grams. Anywhere from 2250 to 2350 is the range we're receiving them in. It's got a very high quality paint job. It's really hard to tell in the camera, but
the quality of this airplane is great. I love quality of the paint scheme,
Yeah.
the rigidity of everything. You don't end up with a fuselage that just feels like a paper bag, you know.
Extreme has done a really good job. We've made so many improvements over the years. You know, I don't rest really. Every chance we get, I actually fly to the factory and sit down with the owner, and we hash out what we can do to improve the airplane. And I think we've done a really good job with this airplane. I'm very pleased with it. So if you're at all interested, come by and see me at the Nationals. And
again, this one will be for sale at the Nationals.
Yeah.
Come see me. I need to sell it.
Yeah, Brett's getting married. He has to pay for a wedding ring, I think, or something like that. Maybe a vacation, I don't know.
There's a lot of things I got to pay for.
All right, well, we're going to sign off. Hope to see you in about 5-6 days.